this off because it's hitting the microphone. Where's someone who's brand new? Like I'm going is going ambassador. You going ambassador? Then you can be on the stage in 5 seconds or less. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, give her a hand, by the way. Sarah. All right, Sarah's going to hold it looks like we're winning the $8 million pennant today. So give it up for Sarah. Come find me in the back afterwards, hopefully. So, thank you so much, guys, for, again, just being present, being here, bringing great energy. I promise that I'm going to do the exact same so that you can leave here going, that was of value. I'm glad I was here today. Thank you, brother. So, guys, quick backstory. I'm originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've got a super blue-collar, middle-class upbringing, so I'm sure our stories are not that different. All 4 of my grandparents, they worked at the same factory. It had a trickle-down effect. My dad worked there, uncles worked there, brothers worked there. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, but I knew what I didn't want to be, and I didn't want to be working at that same factory, right? So I decided at a young age that I wanted to be rich one day. Anybody as a kid ever daydream about being rich one day, right? No one as a kid ever daydreams about being poor one day. It's not the daydream, right? But unfortunately, there's not a training model or training system of how to be financially successful. Right? Obviously, as we get older, the word is financially successful or wealthy, or you don't use the word rich. When you're, as a kid, you're like, I want to be rich. So I didn't know the system because I didn't grow up in a wealthy family. So I said, all right, I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play an instrument, I can't rhyme, so rapping's out. I'm not going to do anything illegal, so I left sports. And I went out and played college baseball, and while I was playing college baseball, I was introduced to the #1 way that financial success was created in the industry, or in the world, and that's entrepreneurship. So when I found out that you could be an entrepreneur, I fell in love immediately. I got started in the network marketing industry. Some of you guys have seen this story through videos online, but my first check was a whopping 2 cents. Yeah, 2 cents, not $200. That's not like code word. That's not like, you know, the new Urban Dictionary. Like 2 cents doesn't mean like 2 grand. My first check was 2 cents. And the reason why is I only got 1 customer on the long distance service. I got 1% of a $2 phone bill. Anybody know what 1% of a $2 phone bill is?
2 cents.
2 cents. That's it, 2 cents. And then my next month, my check jumped to 12 cents. Now, most of you guys would have quit because this was my 5th month in the business, because you get the customers for a month, they use the service for a month, they pay you on the 3rd month. So I'm in the business 5 months. Now I've just made my 2nd check of 12 cents. Most of you guys would have said this doesn't work. I said 600% growth. I'm crushing this. Let's go. By my 9th month in the business, my 6th paycheck had finally broke $25. I was at like the $27, $28 range. I was 18 years old. I still lived at home. My dad looked down. My dad was a very negative person about the business and about the industry of network marketing. He said, congratulations, 6 more of those. You can pay for this fax machine you just bought. So I think the long story short is, gang, that any one of you in this room who's gotten a check from us is already more successful than I was in the early months. The difference is I didn't stop, I didn't quit. Would you guys like me to stop? Will I fix this? Just give me a hand up. All right, need that necklace back. No, just kidding. All right. It's not on you. Okay. Okay, now I gotta get this bracelet away because it's really affecting my microphone. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so I was in the business, guys, 2 years before I got to $2,000 a month. 3 years, I got to $3,000, $4,000 a month. 4 years, I got to $10,000 a month. 5 years, I got to $25,000 a month. By the time I was 23 years old, I was making more in thousands per month than I was old. And anytime you can make more in thousands per month than you are old, that's a really good month, right? How many of you guys would love to make more in thousands per month than you are old? Yeah. I mean, it's a really good month when you get to be Matt Parr's age and you can do that. That's when it's a really good month. So from there, I went on to make my first $1 million at the age of 25, and then the company I was a part of went out of business at age 26. Blake and I stepped in. We began funding the bank account for that company. We basically salvaged what was left, and that's how Visalis was born. We're now 10 years old, as you guys are aware. First 5 years in business, we were relatively successful, high-end anti-aging company. The last 5 years, we introduced the challenge, and we have pretty much dominated network marketing for the last 5 years. $1.7 billion in sales. We're the #1 fastest growing weight loss and fitness challenge. Sorry, we're the largest weight loss and fitness challenge in the world. And that's all because of you guys, so thank you guys. So that's a bit about my story. How many of you guys have goals to create your own story? How many of you guys like you want to create your own story? What is your story 5 years from now look like, 10 years from now? What's your story, right? Because all of you guys are going to get up here and you're going to tell a story. What does that story look like? Have you ever thought about that? Now that story starts with the end in mind. It starts with the finish line. Most people, they try to get to the finish line by only focusing on today's issues, today's problems, and they never make it to the finish line. What is the finish line? Like, we wouldn't run races if we didn't know when the finish line was. We wouldn't play a sport. How many of you guys would watch like basketball with no hoops? It'd just be a bunch of people running around chasing each other, no goals to shoot at. Soccer with no goals. And what would soccer be with no goals? A bunch of people running around with no goals to shoot at. What would hockey be with no goals? A fight. I was going to say figure skating. Figure skating, boxing. Point is, you got to have an end in mind. There's got to be a goal for you to shoot at. What is your goal for you to shoot at? What is your goal? How many of you guys have a goal of being an ambassador one day? Ambassador? Very good. What about 5-star ambassador? Anyone have a goal for 5-star ambassador? I don't want to hear. That's great. Fantastic. Well, good. So write this down. What's the problem? What's the problem? Jot it down. What's the problem? Why are we not there yet? Is it the weather? Is it your kids? Is it your time frame? Is it boss? Is it the government? Is it the state you live in? Is it your financial situation? You're too young. You're too old. You're too male. You're too female. You're too black. You're too white. What's the problem? What's the issue? What's preventing you from achieving that goal? Go ahead and write it down. Jot that down. Now take a second. Share your problem with everyone next to you. Go ahead and tell your problem. Just let them know what your problem is. Go ahead and tell them what your problem is. Go ahead and let them know. Here we go. Yep. That's it. Has everybody got their problem? You share your problem? You don't need to share your problem with your whole row. Just one person is sufficient. Okay, let's reel it in, guys. Just one problem. That was it. Okay, no, seriously, let's stop. You know what was funny is if I would have told you to share your goals, you'd have been done 30 seconds ago. I tell you to share your problems, I can't get you to stop talking. First thing I'm here to tell you guys is this. You must learn that your problem is not your problem. If you want to accomplish your goal, you've got to learn that your problem is not your problem. And you're thinking, you flew all the way here from Europe to tell me that your problem is not your problem. That's why you came here, and that's why I drove all the way here, and I bought a ticket to sit in this seat all day for you to tell me that my problem is not my problem? Yes. Absolutely. That's why I'm here. Your problem is not your problem. So what is the problem? I heard once or twice that everybody is only 6 inches away from everything that they want. You're only 6 inches away. Now let me show you what this looks like. Everyone go ahead and make a goal post with your fingers and your thumb. Goal post. And then what I want you to do is bring it in and say, I wonder what the problem is. 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 I wonder. Oh, there's the problem right there. These are the things we got to work on. These are the things we got to fix, right? Because the problem is internal. The problem's in here. This is what we got to work on. This is what we got to improve on. The reason why, it took me 5 years to get to $20,000 a month is because I had to work on a lot in here. That's it. I didn't have the right knowledge or understanding or information to get it done. I didn't have the right knowledge or information or skill set to get it done. So the problem is internal. Now here's an inarguable statement. Your beliefs determine your actions determine your results. That one we're not looking for a conversation on. What you believe determines what you do determines what you get. True or true? True. True or true? True. Look at the person next to say, that's a fact. That's a fact. What you believe determines what you do determines what you get. That is a fact. So if you were sitting there, and any logical people in the room, is there any logical people? Any people that deal with logic at all? You think logically? Any logical thinkers in here? Anybody think at all? Yes. Okay. I would be sitting there going, okay, so, if that's true, what's a belief then? If my beliefs determine everything I get, what is a belief? That'd be a great question to ask yourself. What is a belief? So if this information right here on the slide determines everything that I get, what is a belief? The answer is, a belief is a feeling. A belief is a feeling of certainty. Actually, it's a belief of it's a feeling of absolute certainty. That's it. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. It is not absolute certainty, it's a feeling. A belief is a what? A feeling. It is a feeling of certainty, it is not certainty. You're like, that's not true. I don't believe that. Okay, how about this? Anybody ever been dead certain? I am so dead certain. I am so dead certain. And your significant other's on the other side. And they are so dead certain. They are so dead certain. And you're going back and forth. And you're arguing. Who's right? Good answer. There we go. Right? The smartest guy in the room said she is. The answer is you both are, because you both have a feeling of absolute certainty. So in your minds, you're right. Now, you ever been in those situations where you realize, oops, I'm actually not right? Anybody ever been in one of those situations before? Raise your hand. So how is that possible if you are absolutely certain? The reason is because a belief is not absolute certainty. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. And we can have a feeling about anything, which means we can build a belief about anything. We can build a belief about anything negative, and we can build a belief about anything positively. We can do it for the things on the outside, externally, and we can also do it internally. Meaning things we believe about ourselves, things we believe about others. Things we believe about everything. We can create a feeling about everything. Now, Shakespeare said, nothing in meaning has life except the meaning that we choose to give it. The feeling that we choose to assign to it. So, if I was sitting in your seat, and I was like, all right, I understand what the definition of a belief is, and I really was logical, and I was really trying to be, all right, beliefs determine what I get. Beliefs determine what I get. I understand what a belief is. What the heck determines my beliefs? That's $1 million question. What determines my beliefs? That's not $1 million question. That's a $100 million question. Could be for some of you. So far in my life, that question is about a $50 million question. It could be $1 million question for you. It could be $1 million a month. It could be $1 million a week. It could be $1 million a day. What determines my beliefs? A belief is nothing more than a batch of similar thoughts. That's it. That's what a belief is. It's just a batch of similar thoughts. And every single time you have a reference to anything, negative or positively, it strengthens that belief. So this is the world's greatest supercomputer, right here. One human brain is strong, one person's human brain is stronger than all the world's greatest supercomputers. That's the power that you have right here. We only use about 10 to 15% of it. Some of us. And inside this supercomputer is your files. How many of you guys know on your computer where you got your files, where you put your documents inside your folders, you get your folders, you put your files inside your folders, inside your laptop? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, right? Absolutely. You got your files, you move your files inside your folders. Well, that's how your beliefs work. A belief is a folder. And every time a reference happens, that's a file. And that's another file. And that's another file. And that's another file. And it goes inside the folder, and the folder's in that filing cabinet. So, ever since you were old enough to process, ever since you were this high, you've been building beliefs. But where do these beliefs come from? They came from your environment, the people around you. So the grand majority of everything that you think, say, do, aka believe, is passed down for you, or to you, from whoever raised you. And then your friends' parents and your teachers. So your parents, grandparents, your aunts and uncles, your friends' parents, and your teachers. They've been teaching you since you're this high what your beliefs are going to be. Influencing the way you think since you were little. Everything you think about everything starts there. Everything you think about everything starts there. Let me give you an example of a belief and a file and a folder. Let's use the name Bob. Is anyone named Bob in the room? Sorry, Bob. So you meet Bob. Not that Bob, of course. Very different Bob. And you meet Bob, and you're like, man, first time you meet him, Bob's kind of a jerk. Your brain goes, Bob is kind of a jerk. And it then takes this reference and it puts it in the Bob folder in the Bob cabinet. The next time you meet Bob, 3 months later, you meet Bob again, you're like, yep, Bob's definitely a jerk. Put it in the Bob folder, filed away. Third time you meet Bob, third time in a year. Yeah, it's official. Bob is most definitely a major jerk. Put it in the Bob folder. Now, every time you think of Bob, you think major jerk. Not only that, but every time you meet a Bob, immediately your brain goes and opens the Bob folder and thinks of the other Bob and goes, Bob is a major what? Jerk. And you go, I knew a guy named Bob once. That's your Bob file. But you got these files on every single thing that you've ever come across in your life. Everything. You got a folder on it up here in your brain. You got files on it up here in your brain. So when we're here to talk about the topic of money, and you go to the money folder, you think of things like money doesn't grow on trees. How do you all know that? Where did you guys hear that? I heard that from my parents. Money is the root of all evil. This is all the baggage in your money file. How many times have you heard that statement? Money doesn't grow on, and money is the root of all evil. How many times have you heard that statement growing up? Hundreds, but never from people with money. Never. Do you know the irony of the statement, money doesn't grow on trees? Of course it does. Money is made from freaking paper. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's how dumb that is. It's the only thing that grows on trees. So stupid. And then they start, things about how you should live and grow and educate yourself. Hey, you're 5 years old. It's time for you to go to school. And at school, you need to get really good grades. So you can go get a scholarship to the very best college. And at college, you can get really good. So you can graduate and get the best. And at that job, you're going to stay there for 40, 50 years, and they're going to take care of you for the rest of your... How many guys got sold that BS? That's all in your files in there, right? And that one's deep-rooted. Because you're like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, right? It's just boom, 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 boom. So when the topic of entrepreneurship comes up, which you have never taught, you're never shown, you're never educated on, there's no folder for it. We were so blue-collar middle class. I did not know that business ownership was an option until I was 18. Like, I remember so clearly in 7th grade, I know the class, I know the teacher, and I remember the piece of paper. Anybody have a photographic memory? I've got one of those photos. If you could tell me your name 100 times, I still won't remember. It's nothing personal. I don't learn auditory. I can't learn that way. I learn visual. If I see you with a name tag, I'll know your name 100 times, 20 days later, 2 months later, because I can see it. This is how I learn. So I could see that piece of paper. And there was 100 different things you could choose to be, maybe 300, whatever. When you grow up, I'm going to be a fireman, a police officer, da 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 da. None of them said rich guy. None of them said entrepreneur, business owner. So I just wrote down other baseball player. This is how deep this goes, that the options of being an entrepreneur, they weren't even options for us to learn about. So instead we're told things like, are you going to get involved in entrepreneurship or start a business? That sounds really what? Risky. You better get a safe, secure, those are risky. Business is risky. Do you think a wealthy family teaches their kids that business is risky? No. You know what they teach their kids? Working for someone else is risky. Wow, there's a different folder. There's a different file. So if you were raised in a wealthy family and the only thing you're ever taught is how to employ others, do you think they will ever be an employee for someone else? No. They would look at you like you were crazy. You want me to do what? They've got a folder, a file a mile long, full of references that says an employee is risky. No control. Giving up all ownership of your life. Getting told where to be, when to be. What to eat, when to, well, maybe not what to eat, but when to eat, when to pee. When you can go, when you can go, when you can have a vacation, when you can't. Yeah, that's the scary stuff, isn't it? Their files are so different than ours. At this point, I'm an entrepreneur, so it might be yours. Mine used to be. They're not just different, they're the complete opposite. And this is why the rich get. And the poor get. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Because everyone that's successful, they're just so darn. Either one. I was going for lucky. But did you hear their file? No, this is good. Half the room said lucky, half the room said greedy. Very interesting, isn't it? And that wasn't really them talking, they were just digging into their past and pulling that stuff out. But you know what's worse than those files? Is the one you have on yourself. Oh, jeez. Let's pull up the U file. I'm no good at this. This is so hard. Nobody ever says yes. I don't know how to do it. I suck at this. Blah, 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 blah. And you're just strengthening the belief, and strengthening the belief, and strengthening the belief about how bad you are. Of course you're bad at this. Look at your folder on you. And what do you keep thinking about you? But you weren't born thinking that way. My favorite one is, I'm too shy to talk to people. How did you get like that? I was born that way. That's crazy, because I've never seen a shy baby before. I've never seen a baby that was, 6 months old. I was wrapped up in a little stroller, and it was like, usually, lady? some milk? I'm kind of hungry and when a baby's got a full diaper, what's a baby do? Screams. When a baby's hungry, what's a baby do? Screams. I was born shy. That's a story. Let me tell you what happened. You were a kid, and one day, Aunt Agatha came over, and Aunt Agatha has got horrendous breath. And your mom's like, come see your Aunt Agatha. And you're like, yeah! And your mom's like, it's okay, she's just really shy. Because your mom's got to make an excuse because you're like, hey lady, your breath's terrible. And she doesn't want you to say that, right? And your mom's not going to say it. So, guess what? You're now shy. And then, 2 years later, you're having a fight with your invisible friend. You guys are going at it, you're just pissed that day, right? Your dad wants you to meet the new neighbor, Larry. You're like, oh, it's all right, don't worry about him, he's just shy, she's just shy. Like, no, I'm mad at my invisible friend, I don't care about this Larry guy, right? So people just start labeling us stuff, and worse is you start telling the story. First you buy it, and then you tell it. You better be careful, because you might start believing it. You better stop telling people how shy you are. This is all the references up in your files and your folders. And references are what decide what your beliefs are. All these references adding up. And beliefs determine your what? Beliefs determine your what? And actions determine your what? What determine your beliefs? References. References determine your beliefs. Beliefs determine your what? Come on, yell it out. Beliefs determine your what? And actions determine your what? Results. So if you want to change your results, change the references. Here's what's mind-boggling to me. If you have a laptop right now, sitting on your lap, and somebody walked in from the outside, they grabbed your laptop off your lap and threw it on the ground and started smashing all your files. Pouring a Coke on it, just grabbing the trash can, emptying the trash can on your files. What would you do? Freak out? Yell? How many of you guys might actually get in a physical altercation if that went down? Oh yeah. Look, I know a lot about you. Your hand went up first. Stand up with the yellow scarf. You were the first one with a hand up right here. Stand up real quick. Don't mess with her. I'm just letting you guys know. She's like, I'm going out right here. Okay, now, you would get into a physical altercation to protect your files that are backed up on a cloud somewhere anyways. You want to know what security my dad has on, my dad's secret files are 4 social security cards, a marriage license. I mean, I can find all this stuff online. Don't tell him that, right? But these are his secret files. And they're locked inside a desk. And the desk is locked inside an office. And the office is inside a house that's locked. And the house is inside a fence and gate that's locked. There's a key code on the garage, so the garage door goes up and down. There's spotlights when there's movement sensors, when the raccoon goes by, like, the neighbor's like, what the hell is it? It's a raccoon. To protect those files. What are you doing to protect these files? These are the most valuable files that you have. They determine everything that you get in this world, and you're doing nothing to protect them. You have people walking into your life every day, destroying your files, and you're not throwing down about it. You're not fighting that. You're not even putting up a fight. You got to protect your files. Those are the most valuable files that you have. If you got it, say I got it. Okay, it's proven that what you continually think about is what you will eventually become. Now I know there's some guy in the room right now who's like, yeah, right, Nick. If that was true, I'd be a woman right now. That's not the point. You missed it completely. It is true that what you think about is what you eventually become. The more you think about it, bills, 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 bills. Drama, 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 drama. Rich get richer, poor get poorer. I'm never lucky, they're always lucky, never me, always them. No kidding. Because that's the things you always say. My favorite quote in this slide deck is this quote. That's not my favorite slide. The level of thinking that has gotten us to where we're at today. So let's pause there. It's a pretty smart guy who said this. His name was Al. He said the level of thinking that has gotten us to where we're at today. So I want everyone to take a snapshot of where you are at today. I don't mean in this room, I mean in your life. Where are you at today? Take a snapshot. Everybody got it? Okay. Then I want a snapshot of where you're committed to be. Committed to be. Committed to be. Not where you want to be or hope to be. I can't stand it when I'm like, what's your goal? Oh, I'm going to try to maybe be a regional director. Let me know when you have a real goal. Because you are not committed. Where are you going to be by the end of April? Well, still, I don't know. So, I don't know. Okay, got it. You're going to be right there, and I don't know later. That's where you'll be. Where are you committed? Committed means you've made a decision. Decision, the word decision literally means, Latin root word of decision, literally means to cut off from. When you make a decision, you have cut off from. Cut off from what? All other options. My favorite thing. Yeah, quit smoking. Right after this pack. You liar! That's a straight lie. It's not a decision. Yep, made a decision. I'm gonna lose weight right after the holidays. Lie, lie, lie. When you make a decision, you cut off from all other options. That's a commitment. So, where are you really committed to be? Committed to be. Are you committed to be an ambassador? Are you committed to be a 5-star ambassador? Or is it just a hope? If you're committed to be a 5-star ambassador, your level of thinking has to change. Now, this is not a you thing, so I'm not talking down to you. If I had the level of thinking necessary for us to be bigger than Herbalife, we'd already be bigger than Herbalife. I don't have the level of thinking yet. If I had the level of thinking necessary to have 10 global ambassadors in this company, we'd have 10 global ambassadors in this company. I don't have the level of thinking yet. But I can tell you what I'm committed to be. I'm committed to having the largest direct selling company in the world and the #1 company in history to fight obesity. That's what I'm committed to. So I gotta raise my level of thinking. I gotta raise my level of thinking, but so do you guys. In order for us to do this, we gotta do it together. We gotta do it together. So let me show you what commitment sounds like. Let me show you what commitment sounds like. I want you to imagine for a moment you just fill out the last order for 5-star. The last order. You're backdating orders. It's day 33 of the month. It's May 34th. You get the last order done, sent in. You're just waiting for the order. You're just blown out, tired. You're worn out, emotional roller coaster. And I call you. On a count of 3, I'm going to call you to tell you that it's official, it's done, you're a 5-star ambassador. And I want to hear, after the count of 3, what it would sound like at your house when I give you the word. Because I'm going to call you and tell you the final order is in, it's official, you are a 5-star ambassador, and I want to know what it would sound like in your house when you got that call. Ring, ring, 1, 2, 3, you just went 5-star ambassador, congratulations. Now,
Oh, really, dude? So, I just got the $250,000 bonus. I make $50,000 a month now. Call me later. Peace. You couldn't even be bothered, right? See, guys, I want to know where you're committed to be. So we're going to try this again. I'm going to call you again. And I want to know, some of you guys nailed it. Some of you guys were a 10, and some of you guys were a 1. We averaged it out at a 6. I'm going to call you right now. And I want to know what it would sound like in your house. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, you just went 5 stars. Cell phones here, if anyone wants one. Yours? Yours? Awesome. Well, you're a 5-star and I'll buy a new cell phone. Okay. So the bottom line, guys, is that's the level of, okay, I want you guys to take a moment and go, okay, how do I feel right now? How do you feel right now? If you really wanted to be a 5-star, you would put yourself in that state of mind before you made a phone call. Before you walked in the room. Before you did anything, you would do that first. That's what I want you guys to think about. It's alright. What would I say to this person if I just got the phone call? I'd walk in and be like, dude, it's a shake, you're fat, you need to lose weight, buy it. Let's go. Instead, we're having 4-hour conversation of a shake that costs $1.50 to somebody who just spent $10 on a pizza. Well, you know, could you try me? No, the reason why it's not going for you is who you're being. We gotta raise your level of thinking. We gotta raise my level of thinking. When we do it together, nothing can stop us. Okay. This is my favorite slide. This idea of what you think about what you become, it's called the law of attraction. Now, the current commercialized version of it is called The Secret. Not a big fan. Because they make it sound like it's this magical, airy-fairy thing, and money falls from the sky, and fairies drop off $100 bills, and it's just... If you want the real version of it, go read Think and Grow Rich. The Secret is the commercialized version of the guy who did the real work, which was Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He spent 25 years interviewing the wealthiest people in the world on their philosophy of wealth. Ford, Edison, Firestone, Roosevelt, Gillette, Hertz, Marshall Fields, I go on and on and on. All of the big businesses you know today, he met with all of them. Carnegie, Rockefeller, all of them. This would be like interviewing, like, Carnegie was worth Bill Gates times 5. Or Rockefeller was, excuse me. Like, imagine you're the guy that gets to do all these interviews, and you write a 1,000-page book called The Law of Success. And you know nobody will read it because it's 1,000 pages. So you write a 200-page Cliff Notes version called Think and Grow Rich. Well, the whole book boils down to this. What you think about is what you're going to get. What you focus on is what you're going to get. That's the secret. It's a secret. It's magical. It's not a secret. It's science. That's why I'm not a fan of the secret. It's because it's science. It's not a secret. It's science. Here's how this works. If you were a really, really deep thinker, any really, really, really deep thinkers in the room? There's some people that are like, you journal, you think deep, and you ask good questions. What's a belief? God, belief's a feeling of absolute certainty. It's not certainty, it's just a feeling. Which means I can have a feeling about anything. I can have a belief about anything. What determines my beliefs? My references. Huh. What controls my references? Ah, better question. This is the billion-dollar question. What controls your references? This is science. This is the stuff that gives me goosebumps to be able to teach you. This is the stuff that's changed my life forever. There's the scientific answer here is your brain will process or attract the bits of information, the pieces of information that harmonize most with your unconscious mind. What the heck does that mean? Every moment, every second, every second, every moment, every second, every moment, there are 1.3 million bits of information to process. Did you get all of them? Because that was about 10 snaps. That was 13 million bits of information. Did you get it all? Nope. Do you know how much we actually get as human beings? We can only process 137 bits of information every second. So all of us are missing 99.9% of everything that's happening around us. We're all living in our own little world. Some of you guys are sitting there going, this is amazing, holy cow. Some of you guys are going, this guy's full of it, I don't believe this crap for a minute. And some of you guys are going, pot roast, pot roast. There's a completely different training going on for all of you guys. Some of you guys have noticed that there's one stool awkwardly sitting to the right of the stage. Some of you guys noticed that there's a silver balloon that spins in the upper left-hand corner of the left stage. Some of you guys have noticed that I've got a Breitling on because you're a watch person. Watch this. Raise your hand if you noticed my watch. Raise your hand if you didn't notice my watch. Look at that, half and half. Half of you don't care, half of you are watch people, so you notice the watch. Some of you guys are shoe people. Some of you guys noticed my gray boots. Some of you guys didn't notice them. Raise your hand if you noticed the gray boots. Raise your hand if you couldn't care about if we were wearing shoes right now. Did you notice half and half again? How is that possible? I'm standing right here. How is it possible? Because you can only process 137 bits of information every second. We're all missing 99.9% of everything that's happening. It's not that you've never had a great opportunity, it's that your brain was not trained to recognize it. That's it. Your brain is not trained to recognize an entrepreneurial opportunity, or how great you are, or your talent, or what you're capable of, or who you can become. That's it. That's all, guys. 99.9% of it we miss. Well, what controls the 137? That's a great question. Some of you guys ask some really good questions. Because that's the only time I'm like, dude, shut up and tell me, how do I control the 137? There's this thing in your brain. It's not the secret. It's not magical fairy tale. It's called your filter. It's really technically called your RAS, your reticular activating system. Your reticular activating system. You know what your reticular activating system, your filter does? It only allows in the stuff that harmonizes with your unconscious mind, aka your files. It only recognizes stuff from your past. Because it's all it can let in. Oh, drama, 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 drama. Some of you guys are always happy. All you ever see is happy, happy, happy. Some of you guys are always miserable, and all you ever see is miserable, miserable, miserable. Some of you guys are watch people, so all you notice are watches, watches, watches. Some of you girls are persons people, and all you recognize is person, person, person. That's just how it works. It recognizes the stuff from your past. So whatever got put in there early on, man, you better believe I am really careful with Gia. I mean, I realize the influence that I have on this child's folders. So do you. That's a responsibility. And some of you guys are like, I'm going to kick Mom's ass when I'm out of here. She is going down. That's not the point. Not Mom's fault. Mom's files came from who? Her parents and relatives, and they just don't know it. And when you don't know, you don't know. But you don't have that excuse anymore. That's the most dangerous part of you listening to this is I remove the excuse from you. You walk out of here, and now you know. Like Gia, she always wants to try anything, right? And when we don't want her to try something, we just go, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. Like, Daddy's wine, it's hot. So, she loves Vibites. She will run mow down packages of those things, right? It's like this child has got a $500 a month auto ship. She's got a problem. But Fiesta Nut is what? Fiesta Nut's hot. So, I'm eating the Fiesta Nut because it's my favorite. And I'm like, gee, it's hot. She's already smart enough to know, this was 2 months ago, at 18 months, she's like, dude, you're so full of it, you tell me everything's hot. She already knows I'm lying. Or she thinks I am. Because, you know, this is hot, that's hot, this is hot, that's hot. All right, you're lying, just give it to me, let's go. I'm like, yeah, listen to me. This one's actually hot. I'm trying, it's hot. I don't care. Give me some of that stuff. Okay. This goes on for 5 minutes. All right, here you go. Guess which one she grabs? Wasabi pea. Clearly her mother was not home. I'm left on my own on this one. Every time she walks up and sees a bag of Fiesta Nut, she's like, hot, 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 hot. If you try it. Next time you see her, pull out a bag of Fiesta Nut, she go, hot, 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 hot. Guarantee it. She knows the differences between the bags. She's been programmed. But that's how that works. That's how it happened to you about money and the way you believe about yourself and your skills and business and all of it. It's that simple. So, getting back to this right here. Your filter lets in what it recognizes from your past, and it blocks out what it doesn't recognize. It doesn't block out good stuff. It doesn't block out bad stuff. It just blocks out anything it doesn't recognize. That's all. I don't believe you. Okay, here. Raise your hand if you ever bought a new car before. Fantastic. And the moment you bought a new car, what did you see everywhere the next day, week, and month? Same car. Two possibilities. Possibility one is those cars were always there, but you never recognized them because you never had any files in that folder that told your filter to let them in. Or, the moment you drove the car off the lot, the GM was like, yeah, go ahead and release the cars, so thank you. Which one's a more viable possibility, the first one or the second one? First one. See guys, there's always been opportunity there. You just weren't trained to recognize it. That's all. That's it. It's not that complicated. There's not a big plate against you. There's not a conspiracy by your boss, or you're this, or you're that. The man's not holding you down. That's it. It's what's in here. You can rewire all of this. I have thrown away all of those files and replaced them with new files. Took a long time to do it. But I did. It's going to take you a long time to do it. But if you're committed to whatever it is that you want, your goal, not my goal, your goal, then you got to raise your level of thinking. This is so deep ingrained in my life. Like, this is one of the main 4 philosophies that I believe there's 4 major philosophies that are responsible for 80% of my wealth. And I've made tens of millions of dollars just in this style of marketing. This is one of them. Control your filter. Control your filter. Your filter lets in the good and the bad. It decides. Take control of that thing. You will never be able to be happy and positive all the time and blah, 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 blah. You can't do it. I just get to control how long I'm down for, how long I'm bad for, how long I'm drained for, how long I'm whatever for. Some people, something happens and they're out of the game for 6 months. My pet goldfish Freddy died. I can't bear to go to a challenge party. Some people are like, he died? Flush that thing, let's move on, right? That's a reference to many things in your life. Some of you guys focus on everything that you can't control as opposed to only the things that you can. You can't control whether or not someone says yes or no. You can only control how many people you talk to. You can't control whether or not somebody quits. You can only focus on the ones that are here. But some of you guys are like, so-and-so quit. I can't bear to add another new person. Okay. Anytime Ashley and I are fighting, and one of us is not being reasonable. One of us is unreasonable. And the other one's being reasonable, all we have to say to each other is, your filter's off. How do you argue that? No, it's not. My filter's fine. Your filter's stupid. My filter's perfect. You just make yourself look more unreasonable, right? You can't argue. Hey, your filter's off. Reel it in. Let's have this conversation in a little while. And it's back on both sides. That's the only one thing we have to do. We're like, shut your filter. But it's that easy. It's that easy once you reprogram and retrain yourself. When you don't like the way your computer's running, what do? Reboot it. Read new programs, delete some stuff, throw some files out, get some new files, get some new apps. I mean, this is a stupid little machine. This is your life. Start downloading some new apps. Start throwing out some old files. Create some new ones. 2 types of beliefs. Those that empower you and those that disempower you. Those that get you closer, those that get you further away. Alright, let me show you how ADD works. Let's have a completely different conversation now. Anyone ever been to the zoo? You ever watch the spider monkeys, yes or no? Yes. You ever see these little things like pinballs? Bing, 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 bing. One day I'm watching spider monkeys and I'm like, man, how the heck do you catch one of those things? This is ridiculous. These things are so fast. There's no way. How did they go out in spider monkey land and catch one of those things and bring it back? And then I found that spider monkeys, they really love peanuts. Like, they love peanuts. So what they do is they tie them in a chair. What they do is they go out to where the spider monkeys live, somewhere in Central America, and they set a trap. And on the trap, thank you, brother. On the trap is a hole. There's some peanuts here, and there's a trap. The hole is big enough for the monkey to get his hand through, but once it grabs out of the peanuts, it can't get his hand out. Doesn't hurt him. He just can't get the hand out. Stuck. So now, here's the choice for the spider monkey. 2 options. Option A, let go of the peanuts, freedom. Option B, keep the peanuts, captivity. Wouldn't you know, every single time the stupid little monkey chooses the peanuts in captivity over letting go of peanuts and having some freedom? Wouldn't you know it? You might be thinking, what the heck does this have to do with me? I'll tell you what it has to do. Most people just think like a spider monkey. No matter what you tell them, they will still hold tight to their peanut beliefs. No, I don't believe it. That's not true. It's always the rich get richer. He's just lucky. It doesn't work. I can't do it. That's impossible. No. You got these beliefs from your past, and you refuse to let go. Hey. How many guys are committed? I mean committed to being a 5-star. Make some noise. Let go. Let go. That is so hard for me to say without saying let it go. Let it go. Let it go. All right. That's called a new stupid folder in my brain. You put a file of a dumb princess in an ice village. That wasn't there a year ago. Now I can't say this slide without saying let it go. That's how this works. But you gotta let it go. You've got to let go of the peanut beliefs. You've got to let go of the past. I know you got some stuff that happened to you. I know it was bad. I know you got some challenges. I know you got some issues. But are you going to let that ruin your life forever? Like forever? No. The whole thing? So, I mean, you want to always have an excuse? Someone to blame? Something to blame? You can live in captivity or you can have freedom. You choose. Prison in your own mind. Who said that? Orpheus. A prison for your mind, right? That's what the Matrix was. You gotta let it go. And then you gotta rebuild your beliefs. You know what I love about this picture? Is it's a real picture. What's that picture on the left?
I love
Ground zero. What's that picture on the right? Ground zero. We can do that. That's what I did. You can do it. That's what Kyle did, and Scott did, and Matt and John did, and Mike did, and Natalie did, and everybody back there. And Alan, we all just let go, rebuild. You got to change your environments. The 5 people you spend the most time with are who you will become. You better choose wisely. And I mean really wisely. You might say to people I love, my best friend. Who do you spend more time with, him or the guy you sit next to at work? 5 people you spend the most time with are who you will become. Financially speaking, I was told this, take the 9 people that you spend the most time with, add up their incomes, and divide by 10, and you're going to get yours. Put your income in there, plus the 9 people you spend the most time with, divided by 10, you're going to come right back to your income. You want to change where you're at financially? Change your environment. You know what's great about today? Different environments. Different environments. You put yourself around people that are all goal-oriented, that all want something better, that all are striving to succeed, right? And the people that mock that, guess what? They're the people in that environment on the left. They're just on the left. They're negative. They mock you because you want to be around people that have goals and are trying to be better? Really? You got to change your environment. I used to tiptoe around this one. You got toxic environment? Change it. Right. You got no choice. Yeah. Change it. Whatever it is, change it. You will never, ever succeed in any area of your life in a toxic environment. Change it. Now, change it means fix it. So for some people, that might mean a relationship. You can fix it. There's plenty of ways to fix it. And there's not, then you change it. Change your input. Change your input, change your output. Change your environment, change your input. If all you do is watch TV, you're not learning, not growing, not going to make it. All the people that skip the events because they don't need events because they're so smart, they're not going to make it. You got to keep plugged in. You got to keep plugged in. You got to keep growing. You got to keep learning. Why are you so successful? I've read more books on success. I've attended more events on success. I've surrounded myself with more successful people. I mean, this is not rocket science. Change your input, change your output. This one was hard for me because I'm a sports fanatic. Like, I'm like that the movie with the math teacher, and he's got his own little warehouse, not warehouse, but his little shed with all the weird numbers everywhere of statistics for sports. I collected baseball cards as a kid. So I could tell you hey, 1983, Mookie Wilson had 23 stolen bases for the Mets. So some crazy stuff like that, So sports were a huge thing in my life. And then I heard somebody say, when I wanted to be an entrepreneur, hey, you want to be wealthy? You better stop watching sports. What? Yeah, you better stop. What are you talking about? How much do you get paid to watch them? Nothing? How much do they get paid for you to watch them? I love it when fans complain about how much players make. You don't want them to make it? Stop wasting your life watching them all day long. You don't want the entertainers to make all this money? Stop watching them. Simple solution. You don't watch it, they don't make money. You know what you should be doing? Spend that time creating a life that people would pay to come see. That's what your goal should be. Spend your life, your time, creating a life that people would pay to come see. You got to change your input if you're going to do that. Change your focus. Focus on the things you can change, not the things you can't change. You can't change someone being no, someone saying no, someone quitting, someone competing, going to another company. You can't change any of that. Quit focusing on it. Focus on what you can. And decide what you want and go after. You got one shot at this. How many shots? One. You don't have a second shot at life. After life is. This life, one chance. Do something remarkable. Do something that leaves a legacy. Be remembered. Pass something forward. Or die trying. Don't do the opposite where you die not trying, and the only thing you can think about is, I wish I would have what? Tried. The number one most stated remark of all people on their deathbed is, I wish I would have taken more risks. I wish I would have went for it. Don't be that person. Make a decision. And then see yourself there daily. Every single day. Matt, I didn't really prep you for this, but do you have, by any chance, a song I could use for this? Perfect. You guys got to see yourself there daily. Every day I see myself there. Where's there? Whatever the next thing is. Whatever I want it to be. Whatever achievements I want to have. Whatever goals we want to check off. On all areas of my life. Not just business, but all areas of my life. Hang on one second. I'll let you know. You got to see yourself there daily. Every single day. So let me give you an example of what this is like. All you need is a good song, some headphones, and 5 minutes. I'll give you just one example. But I need permission from you. Will you guys play along if I walk you through this, just so I give you guys an idea of what I do and have done for the last 15 years? Yes. Will you guys play along with me, yes or no? Yes. All right. Now, it only works if you're not recording. Unless you can record with your eyes closed. But even then, you won't be concentrating. You don't need to record because what you need to see at this point is in your mind. If you just want to record it because you want the words, just push the power button and set it in your lap. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, it's what's going on in here if you want this to work. So, put everything on the ground. If you want to start recording, just hit record right now on your phone, and then don't worry about it. Don't worry about pointing. Do me a favor, and just relax for a minute. Sit back in your chair and relax. For you guys that don't want to participate, just take a 5-minute nap. I have no problem with that. Take a deep breath real quick. Take another deep breath real quick. Take another deep breath real quick. Big deep breaths. Big deep breaths. I want you to imagine for a moment that you wake up in your dream home. You walk over to the window. You pull back the blinds. You look outside the window. You scan from the left to the right. What do you see there? This is your dream home. This is what you worked so hard for. You walk down the stairs. You meet your family in the kitchen area. Give them a hug and a kiss. Walk into your garage and you pick your dream car. Hop inside that dream car. Let's go for a spin down your favorite stretch of road.
What's playing on the radio? Who's sitting next to you? What do you see outside? Take it all in. This is the life that you created. Once you drive that dream car up to the stadium 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, that is the convention where you get promoted to 5-star ambassador. I want you to stand in the back of that convention center and there's 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people all inside. They say your name and boom, your song comes on. It's the song that you always play, that when anytime you need to overcome, you need that pick-me-up, the one that you always play. And there's a slideshow with every picture from your life while you walk down this aisle, the entire stadium, and tens of thousands of people are standing and cheering, watching your slideshow. You get to the stage. Myself, Blake, and Ryan are there, and so is your family. We give you a hug, and you turn and you face that crowd, and you scan all the way to the left, down the middle, all the way to the right, and they're all cheering for you. You tell them your story. You tell them all your obstacles, everything that you had to overcome, everything that got thrown at you that you didn't let stop you or hold you down. You look down at your team, they're crying, you're crying, you tell them you won't stop until you get them on this stage with you. You take a second, take it all in. That last standing ovation. Scanning left to right. This is your moment. You earned it. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You are indeed a 5-star ambassador. Thank you very much for your time today, guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in Florida. See you in Florida. Let's do it. Let's do it, everybody. Thank you guys.